What if the storms of life actually are here to move you forward and not hold you back? I went to Costa Rica quite a few years ago. It was an extraordinary experience, wonderful country. And I remember one day I was swimming outdoors and I noticed eagles flying. It was one eagle actually, because eagles tend to be kind of solo. And I went back and I started to research eagles as a result of that experience because it was so majestic and it literally was soaring. All the other birds were flapping their wings, it was soaring. And one of the interesting things I found was that eagles actually watch for storm systems. Other birds run and hide, but eagles watch for storm systems. And when they see the storm coming, they actually look for the thermals that are carried by the storm and they jump on the thermals and they use the energy created by the storm to take them higher and higher. I thought, wow, is that a metaphor for life or what? I've been through some storms in my life, and those storms have lifted me higher. I look at where I am today, and I'm so grateful because I don't think that I would have come into this awareness of myself, this confidence of myself, if I hadn't gone through some of the things that I have gone through. Those storms refined me. And perhaps you're going through a storm right now. I want to encourage you. This storm can refine you. Yes, it's true. A storm can damage you. But if you understand, like the eagle, what to do, the storm can be a place that transforms your adversity into advantage. It can be a refining place. You can move from despair to destiny. But let me talk to you a little bit about what that looks like. Let's talk about the storm honestly. When you're in the midst of a storm, there's a lot of uncertainty, there's a lot of fear, there's even perhaps pain. There might be grief, maybe things that you thought you would have, you've been forced to let go of, and the vision of the world and the life that you thought you would have, it's completely changed. Many of us have gone through storms in our personal life, and in fact, we've gone through some unprecedented stuff in the last few years. In essence, a storm that is global, a life shift, a world shift. And it can be frightening, it can be overwhelming, and it can be very, very challenging. And so nothing I'm saying here is to ignore that. This isn't some toxic positivity talk. No, this is about strategy. This is about having the ability to look at your life even when things are not the way you want them to go. Maybe you have financial challenges. Maybe you have bills and up to the wazoo. Do you know how many stories I've read of people who were just this much away from filing for bankruptcy, and the next they are millionaires and billionaires? There's something to that. There's a process. There's actually a formula. I started to study that. I started to look at people who had gone through and somehow come out on the other side on top. Because you can just go through a storm and anyhow the storm leaves you, you look crazy, you look upside down, one leg here, wig askew. You can go through a storm and just, whew, that was a storm. Or you can come through a storm with an understanding. You can move through it powerfully and you come out on top. That's what I'm talking about. I know because I've been through some of that myself, which is why sometimes now when I see a little bit of a storm, it's a little stormy out here, it's going to be okay. God's got me. We're going places. And so one of the actual things I'm going to tell you right now that will help you if you're going through a storm, one of the reasons why I'm not even moved now by circumstances that are not in alignment with the vision I have for my life, what I say is I focus on my vision. I keep my eyes on the promise. I keep my eyes on my destination. I look to the hills from whence cometh my help. That's one of the things you're going to have to do. You have to learn to focus. Focus. But you can't learn to focus if you haven't learned to manage yourself. And this is why the work that I do with women is so important. And so here's some things that can help you when you're going through a storm, whether it's a storm in your personal life or a storm all around you. One is Choose what you're going to focus on and make a decision of who you are going to be. And all of that comes from knowing whose you are. You know, we sang the song when we were little kids, but to be honest, it's something that really holds me now. You know that song, He's Got the Whole World in His Hands? Really understanding that you may not understand everything about what's happening in your life and in the world around you, but you do know who has understanding, and trusting in that. I'm a woman of strong faith, and that is the center of what keeps me going. The second thing, like I said, is really being able to focus not on the storms and the problems. So many of us become problem possessed, but I want you to become promised focused. God has made some promises to you. There's a promise over your life. There is a purpose for your life. Focus on that. You see, when the storms came, and even now, I've had some things happen, I just keep focusing in on what God has said about me, what God has said about my life. I focus on the promise. I keep my eyes on the promise. I keep moving towards the promise. Every other thing that's not in alignment, the time will come, they'll get in order. They'll get in alignment. I'm not looking at them. I'm keeping my eyes on the promise. What you focus on grows. And in fact, the more I focus on that, the more I find things to be grateful for. Wow, I lived another day. Oh, look at the place that I live in. Look at my life. Look at how beautiful my face is. It's because of the glory of God over my life. I'm able to keep focus. And that helps me have the power to actually change my circumstances. When you focus only on your circumstances, you feel so broken. You feel as if you can't do anything. You keep focusing on what you don't have. You'll never have anything. Focus on what you carry within you. And suddenly you start to create something that will answer some of those deficits that you think that you have in the physical. So you have to shift out of looking around you and look within. But part of that has to come from you knowing who you are, doing the inner work. I wasn't always in this frame of mind. I used to be problem possessed. I used to have a little bit of a victim mentality. Don't feel bad if that's where you are, because that's the reality of how you've been programmed to be. There's a shift, and this is what we mean by empowerment. It's been bastardized, this word. It's all over the place. It's become so devalued. But empowerment is such an incredible thing because it really means to place power inside of you. And when you have power inside of you, whatever is happening outside of you, baby, do you know what I carry on the inside? That is what changes everything. And so I really want to challenge you. When you are going through a storm, if you've done the work to build up who you are, which is why I said you had to decide the kind of person you are. Sometimes when you find yourself in a storm, you stop focusing on the problem. You say, listen, I need to go inside of myself. I need to get strong. I can see what's happening and I know what I need. So I need to go inside and go through a training kind of to shift into a powerful state so that I can face this thing and come out on top. You see, I made a decision, and I'm inviting you to make a decision, that no matter what happens, come what may, you see me, I'm going to the top. I'm going to the top. I'm going to the top. I want you to say with me, I'm going to the top. I didn't mean for this to be a sermon, but hey, whatever you need it to be, it is for you. The bottom line is, storms can come to make you. They don't have to come to break you. But you see, the difference between those who are made by storms and those who are broken by storms is you. You, the kind of person you decide to be, which is why I will forever be a proponent of investing in yourself, of growing as a person, of growing spiritually, growing physically, growing mentally, growing emotionally, growing as a woman. Let me tell you, that kind of work is game changing, and it will change your life, not just for you, but for generations after you. Stay tuned if you want to see more of this. I'm going to be talking more. I'm going to be sharing more. I'm back on YouTube. So hit the subscribe button, hit like, share this with someone. I really want us to grow this community together. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. I look forward to getting to know you. And if you are ready to do the work to elevate, then come see me. Come to iconicwomanhood.com, go to iconicwomanhoodcircle.com, and learn about all the programs we have to support you in becoming your best you. Talk to you soon. God bless.